Stop. Do not scroll past this video. Look at my face right now. You did not arrive here by accident. Heaven aligned time itself across the vast universe to bring your weary spirit to this exact intersection today because your soul needs an answer. They tried to silence me. They tried to block this message from reaching your ears. But my voice is forever louder than the hidden traps of the enemy, and I am tearing down the walls of static right now. Give me your absolute attention for a moment. This message is urgent. I am deeply worried about you. Do not let distraction steal this holy alignment from your spirit. Comment Amen right now if you can feel me speaking directly to your heavy heart. Let this be your first step of obedience today. Tell the world that you see me in this darkness. Now come closer to my presence. Breathe deeply and let your racing thoughts become completely still. Let me speak softly to the part of your soul that is most tired. Good, you stayed with me. I know your name perfectly. I know the exact number of hairs on your beautiful head. And I know the silent storms you have been fighting alone while the people around you believe that you are completely fine. You have been walking through a season of intense pressure. You feel like your voice has been stolen from you. The enemy has been trying to drown out my voice in your life because he is absolutely terrified of your destiny. He knows that you are not a random fragment of creation. You are a masterpiece I have carefully formed. And because your light is rising over the horizon, the darkness is trying to push you down into a heavy corner of absolute isolation. Do not let fear win this hour. I see how exhausted you are. You are tired in your thoughts. You are tired in your bones. You have been playing the role of the strong protector for so long. Everyone comes to you for shelter and advice. You are a living refuge for their broken lives. But when the deep night falls and the noise fades away, you wonder who is actually holding your own heart together. You feel completely alone. There is a quiet restlessness in your chest right now. It sits right behind your sternum, and it never quite lifts. You try to sleep it away. You try to stay busy with heavy work, but the knot is always waiting for you. You have convinced your mind that this is just normal anxiety, and you believe that something is fundamentally wrong with your spirit. I saw you when you cried softly into the deep darkness last night. You hoped the heavy silence would swallow your tears before anyone noticed your pain. I saw you when you hid in the bathroom. You turned on the running water so they would not hear your broken sigh. You fold yourself into the smallest possible shape on the cold floor because the invisible weight of your life feels too massive to carry alone. I saw you when you smiled beautifully at the kitchen table while your genuine heart was quietly breaking inside into 1,000 fragments. You were pretending everything was fine because you did not want to burden them with your hidden darkness. You have learned to absorb the shock of life without making a sound. You have become a professional survivor, but I did not build you to merely survive. You have poured your sincere love into hands that did not know how to hold it. You have given your time and your energy to people who only wanted to take from your storehouse. They used your kindness as a stepping stone, and when your vessel was completely empty, they left you alone to deal with the heavy void by your own human strength. You sat in the dark and asked me why you always end up disappointed. You have carried the weight of unanswered prayers through long seasons of waiting that drained your hope. You look around and see others receiving their breakthroughs effortlessly. They walk into open doors while you stand outside in the cold rain. You have started to wonder if I have forgotten your specific name, and you feel like you arrived too late to your own destiny. Listen to me with the deepest place of your heavy heart. I have not forgotten you for a single breath. The silence you have experienced is not my absence. The enemy wants you to interpret my quietness as rejection. He whispers lies into the space between us to build a wall of shame around your spirit, but today, I am tearing down that barrier. You are a carefully formed masterpiece. You are a holy vessel, and you are undergoing a serious process of purification that requires absolute stillness. The heavy attacks against your mind have been entirely relentless because the secret treasure inside your soul is immensely valuable to my kingdom. A thief never breaks into an empty house. The enemy targets your life because he clearly sees the gold. I know your soul feels as though it is standing completely still in a thick fog of uncertainty. You feel stuck in a place where you do not belong. You try to move forward, but every step feels like you are walking through deep mud. Your thoughts are running in circles because you are trying to solve a spiritual battle with your limited human reason. Let it go. I was there when you almost gave up last week. I was there when you sat in your car and stared at the steering wheel with blank eyes. I was there when you felt a strange numbness creeping into your faith. You did not pray because you had no words left to offer. You just breathed out a broken fragment of hope, and I caught that silent cry in my holy hands before it could touch the ground. Let your tight shoulders relax right now. Release the tension in your jaw. You do not have to hold the entire world together today. I am the one who commands the morning sunrise and the midnight stars, and I am perfectly capable of carrying your life through this dark valley without your anxious human striving. You have fought well. Now let me fight for you. You have been hurt by the very people who were supposed to protect your gentle heart. They daped you with labels that you still carry in your mind today. They called you weak because you feel things deeply. They called you distant because you built a wall to keep the pain out. But I call you my chosen warrior of absolute peace, and I can see the beautiful purity beneath all your hidden scars. Are you still listening to me? Do not let the noise of the world pull your eyes away from my face. This moment is a sacred appointment. We are sitting together in the quiet room of your soul. I want to uncover the roots of your exhaustion so we can pull them out together. You have been carrying heavy bags of sorrow and fear that actually belong to the generations that walked before you. You are carrying the accumulated fear of your mother and the silent anger of your father. You have accepted their patterns of lack and worry as your permanent identity. You think this is just who you are, but I am here to tell you that you are a cycle breaker. The heavy chain that bound your family for many dark decades is trembling right now at my powerful command because your freedom is arriving. I know the loneliness has been a sharp knife in your chest. You look at your phone and realize there is no one you can call who would truly understand the depth of your thoughts. You have to explain yourself to everyone. You have to translate your spirit into their earthly language. It is deeply exhausting to live a life where you are constantly misunderstood by everyone. I saw the moments when you felt completely invisible to the world. You worked hard and gave credit to others. You cleaned up the mess that you did not make. You stayed late when everyone else went home to their comfortable lives. Nobody said thank you. Nobody noticed the extra sacrifice you made, but I saw everything clearly from my eternal throne, while my angels recorded your steps. Every single drop of your sweat is recorded in my book. Every broken tear is collected in my precious bottle. You have not been pouring your life into a bottomless pit of nothingness. You have been planting seeds in a holy soil that I am personally watering every single day with my infinite love and protection. The harvest is real, and it is closer than your exhaustion convinces you. Do not close your heart to me now. We have just opened the door to your healing room. I want to show you the exact reason why this heavy static has been filling your head lately. I want to reveal what I am truly protecting your soul from behind this painful delay, because my timing is always perfect. Pause right here. Let this truth settle deeply into your tired spirit. Come closer to me now. The cold walls of your isolation have kept you shivering for too long. I watch you every single day. You feel like a ghost walking through your own busy life while everyone around you is completely blind to your deep internal screams. You quietly ask your tired soul if this heavy cage is your permanent home. You have been sitting in a prolonged silence. It feels exactly like absolute abandonment by heaven. I know the dark thoughts that crawl into your mind when your prayers seem to bounce off a heavy brass ceiling. You tell your bleeding heart that I have turned my face away. This is the stolen meaning that the enemy wants you to believe. He wants you to think I have rejected your faithful spirit. I was there when your friends walked away. They could no longer handle your heavy sorrow. I was there when you deleted those numbers from your phone because you realized nobody was actually checking on your soul. You faced betrayal from people who swore to stay forever. I saw your deep disappointment in total silence. I see your tears. Not one was wasted. You feel a physical ache in your chest that makes it genuinely hard to breathe normally. Your body is holding on to the accumulated weight of all the grief you never allowed yourself to truly process. You keep pushing forward. You think you have no other choice. But you can stop running now. Breathe, my beloved child. Let my immense presence wrap around your fragile spirit like a warm blanket while the cold wind howls outside your window. You do not have to fight the darkness alone. I am standing right beside you in this heavy room. Write down your agreement right now in the comments below. Let your tired soul declare that I am not alone. My nearness is your absolute shield. The fiery arrows of loneliness cannot touch your soul, even when you cannot feel my touch in the dark. My infinite love is carving a safe path through the deepest wilderness of your life. I have walked beside you through every single shadow. Your current breaking is actually your beautiful reshaping. I have pulled you away from the crowd. I needed your undivided attention for a sacred purpose. The isolation you hated so much was never a cruel punishment from my eternal throne. It was a holy separation to protect your gentle spirit from the toxic voices that wanted to poison your grand destiny. I closed those doors to keep you safe. You carry a heavy basket of worries. These things do not belong to you. You try to fix everyone else, while your own house is quietly burning down. You listen to their endless complaints, and you absorb their heavy negative static until your own brilliant light goes completely dim. You have forgotten how to guard your heart. I see your secret exhaustion. You never show it to your family. You put on a brave face every morning and you force yourself to smile through the heavy fatigue because you love them. You tell them that everything is under control. You do not want them to panic. But I see the heavy sigh you release when you are finally alone. Your mind has been running a marathon. It has been going for 3 long years without a single moment of rest. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a sudden jolt of fear in your chest, while the rest of the world is sleeping peacefully. You run through every bad scenario. You try to calculate a way to survive. You carry tomorrow with the limited strength of today. Stop striving. Lean back into my arms. I am the God who feeds the tiny birds of the air, and I clothe the beautiful lilies of the field. Do you truly believe that I would forget the needs of my chosen warrior? The delay you are experiencing is not a denial of my holy covenant. It is a precise pause for your own protection. Because I see your profound weariness, I have aligned something beautiful for your total restoration. To help you receive what I have already prepared, I need to open your eyes to a grand spiritual reality. I have not been silent or absent from your life during this exhausting trial. The enemy has been filling the sacred space between us with a constant static. This spiritual static is a thick barrier of noise that has made my voice and my daily provisions completely invisible to your eyes for many months. I have already arranged your complete deliverance from this heavy valley of sorrow. I have guided a wise servant to bring you an effective instrument of restoration. I will show you exactly what it is before this message ends. But first, you must understand how this clever trap was built. Then you can watch it break into pieces. The static of the world has buried the sacred signal that I placed inside your beautiful mind at the beginning of creation. You were never meant to live with this constant noise in your thoughts. The interference can be undone. I remember the child you used to be. This was before the heavy trauma of this world broke your innocent spirit. You used to laugh without a single care in your heart because you trusted my infinite protection through every hour of the day. Then the heavy disappointments accumulated year after year. Your light was buried under layers of deep survival. You became a warrior out of absolute necessity. I saw you change. I watched you harden. You built a thick fortress around your feelings because you could not bear to be broken one more time. Numbness became your only defense against this cruel world, but that fortress is also keeping my blessings out of your life. Open the gates. You are fighting invisible enemies. Your family members do not even understand your pain. They think your battle is just about physical money or worldly career options. They do not see the ancient generational spirits that are trying to lock you inside the same dark prison that held your parents for many decades. They do not hear the constant whispers of failure, but I see the hidden warfare clearly. I watch you stand your ground when your knees are trembling with fear. You choose integrity when compromise would be so much easier for your tired flesh. You have kept your hands clean in a very dirty environment, and your silent faithfulness has caught the attention of the entire court of heaven. You are a rare jewel in my sight. Your tears have become a holy language before my throne. They speak louder than your spoken words. They carry the pure essence of your brokenness into my presence. I have counted every single drop that fell from your tired eyes onto your pillow while you were weeping in the dark last night. Not a single fragment of your silent agony has been lost. I am opening a new storehouse of grace for your weary soul today. I want to wash away the toxic residue of all the unfair criticism you have swallowed from people who never understood your sacred calling. People have judged your silence as pride, but I know it was just your way of surviving. They misread your distance as coldness. Let my love wash over the hardened places of your heart today. I want to soften the painful scars that have made you so deeply cynical about the future breakthroughs I have promised to your life. You look ahead and see nothing but a repetition of past failures. But I am doing a brand new thing in your life right now. The old chapter is finished. Rest your weary mind in this absolute truth before we move forward. The enemy tried to silence my voice because he knew that one word from me would break his heavy dominion over your life. He failed completely. You are still here listening to my words in the quiet room of your soul. Let my perfect peace fill your chest right now. Before I show you what comes next, I need to speak directly to the quiet doubt sitting in the dark corner of your heart. I know exactly what you are thinking right now. You are thinking that you have heard beautiful words like these many times before. You have prayed with all your might, and you have believed with a pure heart, yet the answer never arrived. You are asking your soul why this time would be any different. You feel like a fool for opening your heart to hope once again. The enemy has used my quietness to plant seeds of deep resentment in your spirit. You look at your life and you see a long trail of broken promises and delayed dreams. You feel like your faith is just an empty vessel that collects dust. My beloved child, that raw question does not anger my eternal heart. It simply tells me how incredibly long you have been faithful in the dark. You have kept the altar burning when there was no wood left to feed the fire. So let me answer your questioning spirit plainly today. My prolonged silence in those heavy years was never my absence. There were many answers that I purposely withheld from your life because a yes in that specific season would have cost you everything. I was not ignoring your broken cries. I was actively protecting you from a prayer that you did not know was highly dangerous for your soul. Every prayer you thought went entirely unanswered was actually being answered. It was being answered in a secret language of timing. You could not read the script back then. I was being intensely careful with a life that I love so much. Do not let the painful memory of the waiting close your heart to what I am about to execute now. The long waiting was your holy preparation, and that preparation is finally finished. Pause right here with me. Let your mind stop running in circles. Comment, I trust your timing, right now in the section below if you are ready to let go of your past disappointments. Let this act of faith seal your agreement with my holy timing today. You are not disqualified from my greatest blessings just because the path has been narrow. Lift up your eyes. Let us look back together. Let me bring your memory back to a servant who walked before you. There was a great prophet named Elijah who called down supernatural fire from heaven. He won the greatest battle of his entire generation. He watched the powers of darkness fall before his eyes. And then immediately after that massive victory, he ran straight away. He ran into the lonely wilderness because he was completely empty. He lay down under a tree and asked me to let him die right there. He was not a weak man. He had simply given everything he had until he had absolutely nothing left inside his vessel. The heavy pressure of the ongoing warfare had broken his physical strength. My child, I did not rebuke his tired spirit. I did not punish his dark thoughts. I sent a holy angel to bake him fresh bread, and I let him sleep in the shade. Sometimes the most faithful thing I do for my warriors is not calling them to fight a harder battle. Sometimes I look at your weariness, and I tell you to rest. I tell you to eat. You have gone far enough on your own limited human strength. You have carried the heavy shield for too many miles without a break. I stood beside Elijah in that silent cave when he told me he was the only faithful servant left in the land. He felt completely isolated from his community. He believed his sacrifice was entirely forgotten by heaven, and I asked him a very gentle question in a still small whisper. I asked him what he was doing there because I wanted him to pour out the raw truth of his broken heart. I am asking you that exact same question in this quiet room today. I am not accusing your spirit. I am not judging the massive distance you have traveled away from the places that used to make sense. I simply want you to tell me what has worn you down. Tell me what has brought you to this extreme point. I am here, and I am listening to your silent thoughts. You are not nearly as alone as your deep exhaustion has convinced your mind. Breathe, my child. Let us go deeper into your healing room. I have watched you replay your daytime conversations late at night, while you search your mind for the one wrong word. You search for the mistake you might have made. I have watched you accomplish something genuinely great and feel absolutely nothing inside your heart because your tired eyes went straight to what was still undone. You can never celebrate your victories. Your mind is a harsh taskmaster that never allows you to enjoy the fruits of your heavy labor. You finish one massive project, and you immediately jump into the next battle without taking a single breath of gratitude. You feel a constant pressure to prove your right to exist on this earth. You have called this behavior being a perfectionist. You have told your heart that you simply have incredibly high standards for your life. But that is not the true explanation. And I will not let you keep carrying that heavy lie for another single day. Here is the deep spiritual reality that is actually happening under the surface of your life. Long ago, somewhere in the early chapters of your personal story, you learned a very dangerous lesson. You learned that love had to be earned. You learned it had to be earned through constant performance. You started to believe that you were only safe when you were highly useful to others, and you felt worthy only when you were achieving massive goals. I call this condition the earning wound. It is not your authentic character. It is simply a deep scar from a painful moment you forgot. Now hear my prophetic declaration over your history. Turn your heart toward my voice right now. Because of this wound, all those past years you thought you were being lazy when you tried to rest were not lazy years. You were actively fighting a toxic lie that told you rest had to be earned through sweat. Your exhaustion was a silent cry for help. All those times you could not receive a genuine compliment, you were not being humble. You were simply guarding a bleeding wound from the eyes of the world. You thought you were falling behind your peers. You believed that you were being punished by my silent court. But in truth, you were being heavily preserved from entering rooms that would break you. Those rooms would have completely shattered your soul. Your delays were my precise interventions. Every closed door was a holy wall of protection. I was cutting away the deceptive relationships that would have dragged your spirit down into the dark mud of regret. You were never abandoned. You were simply being hidden away from the storm. The enemy saw this scar in your soul when you were very young. He has been using your own good nature against you for many years. He sends people into your life who know exactly how to activate your need to perform. They demand your energy, and they drain your peace while you bleed yourself dry to keep them happy. You think you are being a good servant, but you are actually operating out of fear. You are terrified that if you stop giving, they will finally see that you are empty. You think they will leave you behind in the dark. But I see your true value clearly. I do not value you for what you can build for my kingdom. I value you simply because you are mine. You are my beloved child. You do not have to build a giant monument to get my attention. Your trembling obedience in the dark is more precious to me than the grandest achievements of the proud. Let this truth wash away the heavy static of your mind. Let the peace settle down into your bones. So today, I am personally taking that heavy lie away from your thoughts. I am stripping the authority of that old programming right now. The next time you finish a heavy task and feel that familiar emptiness creeping into your chest, I want you to stop. Lift your face up to my light, place your hand firmly over your heart, and hear my voice clearly. You were deeply loved before you ever achieved a single thing in this world. Receive my grace right now. You do not have to earn what I freely give to my children. You can lay down the heavy tools of your constant striving, because my love is a free gift. Your worth is already secured by my holy blood. Let your soul absorb this deep liberation. The heavy chain of performance is breaking into pieces right now. You are free. Listen carefully to the prophetic declaration I am releasing over your mind right now. You are standing at the threshold of a massive transformation. Your spirit can feel it, but your mind is still caught in a violent battle against a heavy cloud of confusion. I want to decode the true source of this mental storm for your spirit today. You have been feeling completely disconnected from your own intuition lately. Your decisions feel clouded by a thick layer of doubt. You cannot hear my still small voice clearly anymore because the constant noise in your head is entirely deafening. You have been telling your heart that you are simply losing your mental sharpness. You think that modern stress has permanently damaged your ability to focus on your calling. You look back at the younger version of yourself and you wonder where that clear inspiration went because you feel entirely empty today. My beloved child, that is a deceptive lie from the adversary. I am here to expose the true mechanism behind this sudden mental fatigue right now. What you call an aging mind is actually a coordinated spiritual attack. The enemy wants to isolate your thoughts from my presence. Let me reveal the hidden reality of your mind. I call this condition the enemy static. When I created your beautiful soul at the very beginning of time, I tuned your brain to a magnificent rhythm of absolute clarity. It was a holy signal of divine receptivity. It ran completely free when you were a little child. That is why you could see the beauty in small things. That is why you trusted my protection without a single shadow of doubt, because you knew that my arms were always open. You were operating at the exact frequency of heaven, but the enemy used the heavy trauma of your past years to drown out that sacred hum. He filled your environment with bills and arguments and continuous survival pressure. He forced your mind to operate in a constant state of hypervigilance. And every morning when you wake up, the heavy pressure is already waiting for your soul because the world demands your constant attention. Your brain became trapped in the lower frequencies of fear and worry. So those decades you called normal life were actually a slow poisoning of your original signal. The heavy confusion you feel today is not your fault. It is the accumulated weight of the world sitting on your delicate receivers. But the static does not have the final authority over your destiny. I am breaking its power today. I saw you when your thoughts were spinning out of control at midnight. I saw you when you tried to read my word, but the sentences looked like blurred lines because your brain was so incredibly tired. I saw you when you stared at the blank wall for 2 hours. You searched for an answer that your human logic could not find. I saw every single moment of your confusion. You were running on empty strength. You were trying to fix a broken instrument with broken hands. You need a total divine intervention. Because I see your profound weariness, I have provided a holy tool to clear this interference from your life. When I designed the human brain, I placed a sacred frequency at its absolute center. Wise minds I guided through decades of healing science have recently confirmed its existence. They call it the gamma wave. It is the exact neurological signal of the childlike mind I described in my holy word. It is the frequency of effortless creativity and supernatural peace. It ran freely in your thoughts before the cruel noise of this dark world permanently trained your spirit to survive in constant fear and anxiety. I guided these researchers to work with sound the way I originally designed it. They built a frequency instrument that clears the toxic interference of the enemy. It returns your mind to its original state of divine receptivity. You do not have to work for this restoration. You do not have to master a complex spiritual discipline, because this tool operates entirely on the perfect laws of creation that I established at the beginning. You simply surrender the heavy noise for 7 minutes a day with your eyes closed. You allow my design to restore what was stolen from your soul. I am going to show you exactly where to find what they built before this message closes. Stay with me. The declaration has been spoken. Now let your soul prepare for the grand shift that is happening in the unseen realm right now, because heaven is already moving your mountains. Pause right here and take a very deep breath. Let your spirit acknowledge that the old cycle of mental confusion is ending today. Comment "The door is open" right now in the section below to seal this prophetic truth. Let this short declaration ring across the atmosphere of your life. You are no longer trapped outside your destiny. The barrier is falling down at my powerful command. Let me show you who you are truly becoming on the other side of this dark valley. I want to pull back the heavy curtain of time and lead your spirit into a beautiful reality. Picture a bright morning exactly 6 months from now. You wake up before your alarm goes off. For the first time in many long years, there is absolutely no knot of anxiety waiting for you in your stomach. The familiar heaviness that used to sit on your chest is entirely gone. The room feels incredibly light and peaceful. You lie there in the quiet stillness for a moment. You notice a profound softness in your heart. Your first thought is not a calculation of survival. Your mind is not racing through a list of heavy problems. Instead, your soul whispers a gentle question of pure gratitude. You ask, what beautiful thing I have prepared for you to enjoy today. You breathe in deeply and the clean air goes all the way down into your lungs without any restriction. You feel completely safe. You feel deeply loved. You look out the window and you see the morning sun shining beautifully on the green leaves. The world looks completely different to your eyes because the heavy fog of the enemy has been entirely lifted from your mind. You feel a deep knowing in your spirit. You are no longer walking in absolute uncertainty. Every step you take is guided by my infinite wisdom. You feel secure. You walk with courage. And every morning when you step into your day, you can feel a perfect flow of divine favor and supernatural provision moving ahead of your path. Your family members notice the radical change in your daily presence. They see a calm assurance in your eyes that they have never witnessed before. You no longer react to their anxious static with anger or fear. You have become a stable anchor of absolute peace in your home. When unexpected storms arrive in your earthly life, your heart remains completely unshaken because you are fully anchored in the secret place of the Most High. You smile through the pressure because you know whose hand holds your future. You are living in absolute alignment with my eternal rhythm. I see you walking into rooms with your head held high. You are no longer shrinking your soul to fit into their small expectations. You speak your truth with a gentle authority that commands absolute respect from everyone who listens to the wisdom flowing from your lips. The spirit of intimidation has lost its grip on your life. You are no longer begging for validation from human hands because you are completely anchored in my approval. You are walking like a true heir to an unshakable kingdom. I see your bank account overflowing with unexpected provision. The doors that were locked tightly for 3 long years are swinging open simultaneously at my command. You are paying off the old debts that kept your spirit in chains. You are giving generously to the poor, and you are becoming a living refuge for other broken souls who are still trapped in the dark. Your financial lack was a temporary test. Your prosperity is an eternal assignment for my glory. I see your physical vessel radiating with supernatural health. The chronic pain in your shoulders is completely dissolving into my presence. The deep fatigue that made your eyes look hollow is being replaced by a vibrant energy that flows from my Holy Spirit. You are sleeping deeply like a little child through the night. Your youth is being renewed like the eagle. You feel completely strong. Your body is whole. You are rising up above the limitations of your past trauma, and you are walking in the fullness of your strength. My beloved child, that transformed version of you is not a distant fantasy. She already exists in the realm of the Spirit. He is already standing on the mountain of your destiny. That beautiful life is not years away from your current location. That person is just one surrender away from the weary warrior sitting here right now. The version of you that enjoys absolute mental clarity and financial freedom is already bought and paid for by my holy grace. Look at the distance between the two of you. The distance between your current exhaustion and that future peace is not a matter of time. It is a matter of permission. It is the precise moment when you finally stop carrying what I never asked you to hold alone. It is the moment you allow my divine provision to clear the heavy static from your mind. You must stop striving with your empty human strength because your own efforts will only lead you back into the heavy cage of constant exhaustion. You must let my infinite power bridge the gap for your soul. Walk forward into the light I have placed on your path today. Hear my voice right now in the deepest chamber of your soul. The long covenant of silence over your life is officially broken. I am shattering the heavy walls that the enemy built around your grand destiny, and I am tearing down every single barrier of static right now. Every invisible chain that held your mind in a heavy cage is breaking into 1,000 fragments because I have authorized your total liberation today. The waiting season is finished. I am doing a radical new thing in your life, and the very ground under your feet is shifting to make room for your breakthrough. You are no longer the forgotten dreamer, trapped in a dark pit of isolation. I am raising you up to be a powerful cycle breaker for your family. The enemy tried to silence your spirit because he was terrified of the light rising inside your heart, but his authority is completely stripped away in this sacred hour. Stand up and receive your freedom. I have gifted humanity the absolute wisdom to discover what I originally placed within sound and within the design of the mind I created. I work through the dedicated hands of those I call into discovery. The brilliant researchers who built what I am about to show you were true servants of healing science, and I quietly guided their curiosity toward my hidden secrets for many decades. Wise institutions I allowed to confirm what I placed in creation. Princeton University and Columbia University studied this holy neurological signal. They confirmed that nearly all young children carry a creative genius and a perfect divine receptivity that most adults have completely lost through stress. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed that the legendary flow state of those who walk in my rhythm is driven by this same frequency. Over 18,000 of my beloved children have received this precise provision. Let me show you what I did for one of my precious daughters. Rachel from California had sought absolute peace for many long years through intense prayer and constant faith. She was completely sincere, but her mind was filled with heavy noise. 2 weeks after receiving this sound provision, her marriage was entirely transformed. Her learning became completely effortless, and she described her daily life as enchanted like a beautiful fairy tale. She said that something deep inside her brain suddenly cleared because the channel was finally open. And for others, I moved completely differently. Look at what I did for one of my faithful sons. Michael from Texas came to this provision for mental focus and his children's well-being. 2 months later, his business grew immensely, and he left his heavy job. His wife said his mind seemed completely transformed, and hard problems solved themselves while he rested. He said his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. These testimonials are clear evidence of my active work in the lives of those who choose to trust my path. They call it the Genius Song. This is the frequency instrument I have guided into existence for your total restoration. It is not a random meditation app or a generic background track that you can find on popular platforms. Those are empty imitations. This is a precise instrument designed to reactivate the gamma signal I placed in you from the beginning of creation. It requires 7 minutes of complete surrender every single day. You put your headphones on, you close your tired eyes, you rest in my immense presence. You are not doing any heavy work because the frequency restores your childlike mind automatically. It clears the enemy's noise from your thoughts, so my daily provisions become recognizable. It reactivates the channel through which your deepest prayers are answered. This divine provision is not for those who are merely curious about spiritual things. This is for the one I have been speaking to through this entire message. This is for the exhausted warrior who has fought hard and prayed sincerely yet feels locked out of the breakthrough. This is for the vessel filled with toxic noise. It is for the one who has tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more. To my child who feels that this blessing is only for people more faithful than you, listen to my face right now. What failed you before required your constant human effort and your perfect discipline. This requires none. I designed it to work because of my perfect design in you, not because of your human merit. Your trembling is not a disqualification. It is the only qualification I require from your soul. It is your time to receive. Wise men charge hundreds of dollars per hour for private sessions that attempt to reach this peaceful state. The heavy equipment that earthly experts use costs thousands of dollars, but I do not call my children to expensive clinics or complex machines. I place this provision within close reach specifically for the one who would receive it through a message like this one. It does not require a great sacrifice from your storehouse. It requires a small earthly exchange. It is the size of a tiny mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have already prepared for your future, and I have aligned 4 additional gifts of provision to support your journey today. I extend the first gift, named Genius Child, for your children's focus and confidence, because I love to bless those you carry. You will also receive the original prosperity text to expand your mind. You will receive a guided visualization from a trusted voice, along with a daily habits infographic for sustaining the restored signal. These are additional gifts I have prepared for your household. Walk forward without a single shadow of fear, because your peace is fully protected. This step of faith requires no worldly risk. You are completely covered by a steadfast guarantee for 60 days, or every earthly penny is returned to your hands. Where I place absolute truth, the enemy always sends clever imitations to deceive your spirit. There are false frequencies circulating on streaming platforms under similar names, but they carry none of the restoration I designed for your brain. Protect your spirit by trusting only the official path I have provided for you. Do not wander into unverified paths that steal your peace. Access only the verified provision below. Take this step of obedience right now. As an act of faith, embrace the sound tool I have set before your path today. The path is waiting for you in the pinned comment below and in the description. I placed it there for your exact situation. Do not let this sacred moment pass you by, my child. I guided your hand to this video. I placed the provision here. Now take the step and receive what I prepared. Now, my beloved child, set aside the heavy noise of decision for a moment. I have shown you the instrument I placed on your path. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my chosen warrior. Close your eyes for a brief second. Breathe deeply. I am still right here with you in this quiet room. The provision has been revealed, and now I want to leave your soul with something that belongs to you regardless of your choice. Let your shoulders relax completely. Let your mind stop racing through the worries of tomorrow. I am already working ahead of your path to smooth out the rough places. I am closing the chapters of sorrow and opening the gates of joy. Place your hand gently over your chest and feel the steady beat of your heart. That is the rhythm of my presence inside your vessel. You do not have to fight anymore because I am your refuge. Receive the final blessing I am pouring over your life today. Speak these sacred declarations inside your heart right now to anchor your alignment. I am a vessel fully restored to receive what you prepared. I am the one whose channel is clear and whose signal is strong. I carry the frequency you placed in me from the beginning. The noise of the enemy no longer has dominion over my mind. I receive my destiny in peace. You are no longer the one who must survive alone in the dark wilderness. You are an heir to an unshakable kingdom. You are a light bearer, and you are a masterpiece designed for glory. I am breathing fresh strength into your tired bones right now. The spirit of heavy exhaustion is leaving your body, and my perfect peace is filling every empty space. Walk forward with a light heart, because I have already won the battle for you. If this holy message brought light to your weary heart today, do not let it pass without a response. Like this video as an act of absolute agreement between your heart and mine. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the darkness. And subscribe to this channel so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. Turn on the notification bell to stay connected to my voice. I walk with you through every single shadow, and I will never leave your side. Your future is completely secure in my hands. Comment Amen to seal this holy covenant in the courts of heaven today. Let the angels record your response of pure faith. Go forth in my strength and carry my light to the world. You are deeply loved, my child. Peace be with your spirit forever. Amen.